we are affecting the entire nation. We are also the top AI learning community in Africa, and this has been proven since 2019, where DSN won the highest AI award in Africa, the Mathai Impact Award at Deep Learning in Daba. And here are pictures of our mentor and amazing lead mentors receiving the award with many of the community members. Also, our commitment to producing world-class and award-winning research papers has been evidenced even with our paper on shared trust to end poverty and promote financial inclusion. And it was amazing that this paper won the Best Poster Award at the Global Challenges in Economics and Computation Conference. That is a huge one for the community. In the top AI learning community also, we are also the top in producing and developing real-world solutions with artificial intelligence. We were the only African finalist at the X Prize competition where they were using advanced algorithms to address COVID-19. It was a huge one for the community, and we are so proud to represent Africa on so many levels. Recently, DSN was recognized by the AI body in South Africa as one of the top bodies leading AI in Africa. And this was just yesterday that was announced. So it's an amazing time for the community. It's an amazing time for all of us at DSN. It's an amazing time for you on this call, being part of this huge community, frontiering AI in Africa. Can we all celebrate ourselves? Can we celebrate DSN? Clap for ourselves, clap for yourself that, wow, this is a big win for us. This is a big win for you. And can we celebrate ourselves on the chat? Share your, is it the clap emoji now? Just, yeah, I can see your reactions. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. So our work has also been presented at conferences around the world, like Triple AI and many others, where our co-founder, different team members have been presenting the work, showcasing everything that we have to offer to the entire world. Even recognized by global bodies such as UNESCO, where two of our products that were totally developed, initiated by DSN, were recognized in the 2021 Global Top 100 AI products, the EdTech Adaptive AI Learning Engine and Prescribe Right. So these are two of our top products. You should check them out, check out the links to the papers, to the products, and you should also learn from this. The next product we'll be showcasing could come from your community, right? So let's also learn from one another. As we're learning about business intelligence, let us also know that we are committed to social good. And DSN recently unveiled the Data Fluency platform. What is data fluency? It's all about absorbing data and information to gather insights. We're already talking business intelligence, right? And the whole idea is to boost the decision-making process of industries, of businesses, of individuals. So we recently unveiled a free platform, totally and absolutely free, for you to see where you stand in data fluency and how you can benefit from data fluency, what to do and how you can align for a very, very influential data life for your organization, for your business, for your industry. So the link is being dropped in the chat by my colleagues now. You can visit the platform, share the platform, and let us begin. It's a great start for you. I'm sure once the session starts and we all get into the business intelligence, we'll see more about this. But it's a great start for you to kickstart your business intelligence journey. You know where you are and how to get there. All right. So we also are committed to raising the next generation of AI talents in Africa. And we have released the first AI book for teens and kids in elementary schools and all beginners. So even if not the kid, you're a beginner, yes, this book is still for you. So the links are available to order the book. It's available on Amazon Kindle, paperback, Apple iBook, Google Play, and even Jumia. So please do well to buy for your friends, buy for your wards, buy for your kids, buy for your sisters and brothers, and let them also begin to learn about artificial intelligence. We also have our physical AI research lab and co-working space at Yaba Lagos, where you can now actually apply to make use of the amazing space and facilities. Yes, so you need a co-working space, you need somewhere where you and your team can work together to develop something. The details are being shared in the chat. You can come around and know that there's a space for you to work with world-class talents and achieve your goals. Finally, we are able to only see so far because we stand on the shoulders of giants. These are our world-class advisory board members who support our vision and keep us flying high with amazing insight. So can we celebrate them, please? These are the amazing people that support our work in every way. Can we drop a clap emoji? Just clap for them that, yes, thank you. Thank you for supporting the vision of DSN. Thank you for everything that you do and for making DSN where we are today. Awesome, great. So let's get into it. We've met DSN, we've met our board members, we've learned about everything we do. Let's meet our amazing mentors. Meet Moshood Yahaya. Moshood is a passionate and reliable professional with multiple years of experience, fully dedicated to using data to provide insights and make informed decisions with creative problem-solving approaches to tackling challenges. So get ready for all your problems to be creatively solved today. He is currently an AI and machine learning engineer at Dell, and his expertise is placed within market analysis, forecasting, business intelligence, business process optimization with venue assurance, performance analysis, and customer need assessments. Yeah, so it's a wealth of experience we are here to drink from today. Also meet Sebastian Obeta. Sebastian is currently a data scientist at the University of Cambridge. Sebastian is an enthusiastic data scientist with a good track record conceptualizing and implementing analytical insights with commendable managerial ability to motivate his team for success. So it's going to be an exciting time of motivation today. I hope we are all ready. He has a broad-based experience with a demonstrated history working in the banking industry, telecommunication, and health. So I am hoping and I'm sure that we are all getting our notepads ready for how we will get this unique industry insights for different domains. So he has strong knowledge in machine learning, AI, data mining, with distinctions in MSc in data science and machine learning. He's also an hands-on expert in Cargo and Zindi. He's a graduate of the London South Bank University in data science, Bradford University in applied AI and data analytics, and has also had both part-time and executive education in many leading institutions, including the Institute of Business Management in Berlin, Germany. So guys, it's going to be a big and an exciting time of learning. You don't want to miss a second of it. So without wasting more time, I'll hand over to our mentors to dive deep and take us on a journey into business intelligence. Thank you so much, our amazing mentors, Moshood and Sebastian, for joining the call. So I'll hand over to you now, and you can share your screen and get started. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Can we welcome our mentors, make them welcome, celebrate them, say yes, you're welcome, hi, share your chat emoji, and let us get started. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, and it's a pleasure to be a part of this exciting session. And we hope, myself and my colleague, Sebastian, we hope we're going to deliver as much impact as we can in this session. And if you can hear me clearly, just maybe an emoji on the chat box. All right, brilliant. So we get straight into the discussion. 1 second. Yeah. So once again, like I said, it's an exciting opportunity to be amongst us today to talk about business intelligence. And I know the basic question on our lips is, how possible is it to talk about business intelligence in the space of 1 hour? Well, it's not something you can talk about in the full day, yeah? But then we can try as much as possible to see what we can accomplish in the space of 1 hour. And that's why the focus of this, presentation is on the introduction to business intelligence. As Fumini has rightly said, and thank you for the very, very inspiring introduction. I mean, that's more speaking highly about our competence here. So basically, as he has rightly put in the introduction, it's all about business insights and deriving solutions and active knowledge out of data, be able to cut the best direction for a business, merely looking at your data. And you would ask yourself, the first thing you ask yourself is, why do you need to talk about how to use data to solve problems when there are people that have got experience in this area? But then a lot of research have been in the area of demystifying the relationship between intuition and data. And majority of the time, you know, when you have the right data in place and the right knowledge to derive insight out of the data, obviously, it gives you far more knowledge, far more information, far more insight, far more decision making than what you would get from mere intuition. That's not to say the place of knowledge and experience is displaced. No, this is more of a qualifying factor to whatever experience you have. Just look at a situation where you're watching football, for example, and somebody from nowhere, just because he loves how Jorginho plays football, comes forward to tell you Jorginho is a better player than Messi, and then you reel out the data and the person becomes dumbfounded. You drill down a bit more, and then the person will be like, oh, okay, I never saw it this way. So that's what data actually does to you when it comes to analyzing your business and creating insights. So for us to dive into this, we're going to look at our presentation today from different angles. What is business intelligence? Why do we do business intelligence? What are the different tools used in business intelligence? And then how do you go about starting a career in business intelligence? I know quite a few people here already who started. I mean, that would help us to see, are we actually starting in the right way, or do we need to do something a lot more different? Now, the first thing we need to understand is this. We're talking about businesses, and we need to look at two key aspects in business. Number one is what are the intentions of doing businesses? People do businesses for financial purposes, for social purposes, and for economic purposes, for a lot of reasons. And then whatever decision you're making in terms of business has to satisfy these purposes. And also the other angle is to take care of your stakeholder. And who are your stakeholder? Everybody that has one interest or the other in a business. It could be a customer, it could be local community, it could be the business themselves, it could be your staff, even to the gate man, as we know in Nigeria, where such things happen. And I mean, to the very limited level, to the very extensive level, whoever has vested interest in your business, whether directly or indirectly, they are your stakeholder. So when you are analyzing your business, you have to have in mind what you need to do right, what you do right that affects these people, what you do wrong that affects them. And we know the capital gain of any business, the capital intention of any business, obviously, as the word capital sound, is to make money. So finally, how does all of this translate into making money without trading whatever relationship you have with your stakeholder and without deviating from the ambition of your business? Now, it's sounding a bit interesting because all of us want to do the very technical and geeky thing, and a lot of people underrate data analysis and business intelligence. And this is why a lot of insight, a lot of drive has to be put in this direction. And I commend DSN for this session. Your best understanding of business intelligence, data analysis helps you to actually understand machine learning better, because at some point you have to surely perform your EDA, exploratory data analysis, which stems from your understanding from these areas. Now let's dive straight into the crux of the thing after the very little oversight on what we're going to do. Now we're going to look at the definition of business intelligence from 4 different angles, has been reported in research papers and public works. So basically, business intelligence, according to experts, refer to the procedure and technical infrastructure that collects, store, analyze the data produced by a company. We know a lot of things happen in Nigeria where people only receive data for regulatory sake, and then they just leave everything on the shelf. That's not the intention of collecting data. So you have to collect data for a particular reason, which is to provide insight and help to grow your business. You're not just keeping it somewhere, you're using it to drive and grow your business. Business intelligence can also be referred to as the broad term that encompasses data mining, process analysis, performance benchmarking, and descriptive analysis. And you could see one of these items had already been mentioned by Fumini when he was doing the introduction. Obviously, he started the discussion on business intelligence before we even came in. That's is to show you, by describing what DSN has done, he's talked about business intelligence, and he show you is the backbone of every organization. You need to understand how to drive your business and how to intelligently analyze what's going on to be able to provide actionable insights and grow your business in the right direction, especially with unexpected situations like we had with COVID and all of that. And it's changed the landscape of marketing. A marketing endeavor without business intelligence is quite flawed, and you would all agree at some point when we get this presentation to a level. Now, business intelligence is a technology-driven process for analyzing data and delivering actionable information that helps executive manager and workers make informed decisions. I'll give a typical example. A very popular refinery, when construction was being done, at that time I worked as a risk analyst on the particular project, and at some point there were a lot of issues going on. We needed to actually to actually make a lot of decisions and to drive things differently from the way it was going. And also the owner of the company needed to see what's going on. And this is where this example comes in. He needed to sit in his office and see an overview of what's going on. At a point, we had to do a project management dashboard, which helps him to do snapshot of issues at different parts of the project, different sections, a very, very massive project. And also to be able to have an overview and a story of what's going on. They don't have time to read documents and papers. They only help themselves more with summary or a snapshot from a dashboard. So it helps them to make decisions and know exactly what's going on in different areas without moving a limb. And finally, business intelligence is used to answer how businesses performed in the past and why those outcomes came about. Some of this example would probably pop up, but a typical one is one analytics job that was done here, myself and Sebastian in the UK here, working on fashion retail companies. And it was a 5 years analysis, and we discovered that a particular company was competing with the industry leader, and then they were 45% of the industry leader's income at the beginning of the 5 years. And at the end of the 5 years, they were 99% of the industry leader's income. But guess what? Their profit margin was reducing. Why did this happen? And we had to do a lot of drill down into the analysis and discovered that while they were trying to compete with the industry leader, they ended up amassing and accumulating too many staff on their payroll, while the other one was shelving down the payroll. And eventually you're making about the same amount, but your profit is about 40% of what they're making. These are the kind of things you get from business intelligence or business analytics. And it's also revealed that this particular company doesn't even have a live presence, so hence they depend more on physical staff. So these help us to provide insight, which obviously would drive the company. Moving forward, as we have a lot of slides to cover, you see I've talked about business intelligence and business analytics. So what's the difference between business intelligence and business analytics? Obviously, analytics in its broad term talks about predictive, prescriptive, diagnostic, and descriptive analysis. Descriptive is talking about what's happened in the past, using it to get insight. Predictive is using what's happened in the past to determine what's going to happen in the future, while prescriptive is just like the way it sounds, like your doctor will prescribe a medication to you, trying to get out what we could do next at this juncture based on what data has revealed to us, while diagnostic is more of looking at the root cause of issues. When descriptive analysis has told you something, then you go drill down and see what exactly is the cause. And a lot of examples like that is what I just gave about the business. It could be you trying to do hypothesis testing of maybe something you want to do about your business and see how it is going to affect your business and all of that. So that's where the difference comes. Business intelligence talks about descriptive and diagnostic alone, mainly what has happened in the past and what caused them to happen, so we can action them and derive insights. A lot of organizations retreat focuses on business intelligence, but you'll be shocked these people use what's it called? They don't use data to drive home their this. They just talk about from basic experiences and all of that. So, and that's possible job opportunity that could be available for a business intelligence expert, could be being a consultant for businesses to help them see problems in their operations. So we move forward. Why do we do business intelligence? I've talked about a few of it already. The role of business intelligence helps us to improve business operation using data. For example, the retail clothing company I talked about, another retail clothing company I worked on, would you would discover that sales are happening at certain time of the day and certain time of the month, while certain period they are actually not having sales. What could be responsible for it? Could it be that what they are selling at that period of the year is not really okay for the weather at that time or the climate condition at that time? And also discover that particular section, I mean, they sell more of 20 to 30 at the clothes they sell, but we observe that people above 50 and 40s are the ones who sell more, meaning those people at that age grade are probably not using making real use of their in their friends or their colleagues, or using that age grade to sell enough. So that really helps to look at the direction of focus when the company has to re-strategize on marketing. So it helps you to look at the business operation and how you're going to move next. BI helps manager to make informed decision and better decision with available information. We talked about that already, and it creates insights that can be used to make a business decision for increased productivity, revenue, and accelerate business growth, which is the example of the first retail clothing company I talked about. I mean, you're growing, but you see something is impeding your profitability. You need to put yourself online and all of that. This was made possible by drilling down your analysis into that area and be able to discover that, okay, this is probably what's happening. So what you see on the data on the surface might not exactly be it when you start actually analyzing your data. So it promotes data-driven decision-making and less dependence on other factors, such as accumulated knowledge, previous experience, intuition, and gut feeling, which is what I've said. I mean, even football, which is very, very practical, you'll be shocked that a lot of coaches make decisions based on data. You know, there's a particular player you cannot allow to train more than 2 times in a week so he doesn't get injured. There's a particular player that, even though he doesn't feel comfortable at a particular wing, but he tends to score more when he's at this particular position. You understand? So this analysis helps. A very typical and popular example was when Chelsea had a penalty shootout and the keeper was changed, just for the obvious reason that data revealed that the reserve keeper had better save percentage than the first keeper, and which turned out to be a success in 2 different games like that. So this is a typical example of how data can actually trump previous knowledge, intuition, gut feeling, and accumulated experiences. Now, what are the applications of business intelligence? You can use business intelligence to evaluate performance of marketing campaign and experiments, segment users by demographic characteristics. You know, basically, when a company is trying to position or see where the sales is going to be higher, you obviously, there's a concept called STP, which is segment, target and positioning. So basically, you're trying to find a segment of the market, and then you're looking at how you can, which segment of the market appeals to your product the most. Then you target that segment and look for a way to position into there. And that helps you to evaluate it a lot more. For example, you're looking to sell clothes for Gen Zs and you decide to be posting on Facebook. The chances of having feedback will be low if you actually look at data and see that these guys stay more on Instagram and TikTok, for example. So data would reveal and help you to guide you towards experimenting segments of users for your businesses. It also helps you to measure performance of business against benchmarks and goals. A typical example where I used to work is we have, for example, 3 days SLA with our clients, and then we have to deliver within 3 days. So obviously we have to give our our suppliers far lesser SLA, maybe 2 days SLA, and we need to measure this against benchmark, and we do this quarterly. We do review meetings, and this is only possible by using data. Where we have benchmark, you must not score less than 95% in all indices, and this is a standard that all companies have to abide with. And then a lot of them will come with claims, but when you analyze the data in their presence, and they get shocked that, okay, this is more like you getting your report card on the final day of a school term. So you can also measure performance of business metrics against benchmark and goals. Okay, sorry, that's a bit of a repetition there. It tracks potential customer through sales pipeline. If you have an understanding of your sales funnels and how you need to approach each customer at different stages, then look at how you can measure your churn rate or your conversion rate, the loyalty of your customer, and all of this. These are typical business metrics when it comes to sales. And your metrics range from different areas. It could be from the business growth area, year-on-year growth, and all of that. So these are the things, some of all the other things you need to evaluate. You'll be surprised that everything we're talking about seems financial, and that's one of the gifts of business intelligence, where you would be able to talk business and talk finance and all of that, even without much experience from there, because having worked in that area, you get used to the majority of this time. And for example, my current role, it was actually what gave me the role, because the CEO was like, did you study finance in school? I said no, but a lot of this knowledge and experience came from analyzing data and driving business insights, and you'll be able to get familiar with all this thing. And it was just a no-brainer in the first 5 minutes of an interview. So it's one of those gifts that business intelligence gives you, that you have wide knowledge of how businesses work. Also, you can use it to visualize the volume of visitors or users on the website. That's on a typical social media campaign. Check to be able to analyze how much people get attracted by whatever changes you have on your website and all of that. A typical example is was a Binge, Microsoft search engine. They only made a tiny change that has been online, that has been on the edge for a number of months, and they made the changes. Guess what? It gave them a profit increase of about $100 million every year just by making that tiny change. And how were they able to evaluate that this was exactly what led to it, is to be able to visualize and track the volume of visitors on your website through that particular change that was made. You can also use business intelligence to evaluate performance of marketing campaign and experiment. A bit of example is what was given up there. And segments users by demography. You're talking about the different market segments, demographic, geographic, and the other two behavioral and as well. It helps you to segment individuals based on achieved or acquired data, to be able to know their behavioral pattern and how they might likely react to certain changes in your product, certain addition to your product, and certain kind of use cases that might be peculiar to them. If you're trying to set up a business for mental health for maybe the whole population, and you decide to put it on an app, definitely where a lot of particular age of people would definitely prefer to go to the hospital, as against those that want to interact with their mobile app as if they're playing a game. So that helps you to look at what your customer segments will require. Obviously, if you have such a thing for young people between the age of 18 and 30, that would just be a gift, because they know this is what they like playing with. They don't like people listening to their story, and they also like things being like it's being gamified. They have that game-like experience or social media experience, so to say. Also, you can use it to generate reports for team and executive decisions. We've talked about that so much up there. What are the stages in business intelligence? Collection of data, data engineering, storage of data, you analyze your data, and then your reporting. This is literally a typical stage in your business intelligence. So basically, you're looking at doing business intelligence, and you think, oh, it's only reporting I want to focus on. Guess what? You need to understand where the data is coming from, because the first stage is to know the business decision, and then that forms a part of whatever kind of data you're collecting and how much insight you expect that to give to your decision. And then that goes all the way through doing the engineering aspects, the storage, obviously, and your ETL, and then analyze your data and reporting as well. And this is just being put in the actual step here. You get data from source, and you integrate it and load into your data warehouse or other analytical repository. Then data sets are organized into analytical data model or online, OLAP, and then to prepare them for analysis. Then BI analysis is done. All the analytic professionals and business users run analytic query against the data. And then the query that you run, the analysis you've done, is translated into visualization or dashboard. And the final stage is that business executives use this information to provide decision, make decision, and plan strategically for the growth and direction of the company. So I've explained this earlier, because just to keep on with time, data collection, obviously you need to understand the data need of your business and your analytic endeavor in that particular case, and you collect it from different sources as you were. Then data storage, data relevant to the business and numerous, and often in large scope. So it's stored in different, it's called a schema, and then you have different databases for it, depending on whatever business use case for the different data that you've collected. Then you analyze the data, obviously, like you've said. And when we talk about business intelligence, we talked about the fact that it's descriptive and diagnostic. Descriptive, describing what has happened in the past exhaustively, and then diagnostic is more like you've pointed a problem somewhere, and then you drill down and see what the root cause is. Who knows, it could be the simplest thing that would help your company making the next set of hundreds of millions. Then reporting, obviously, for easy use of management and executives. And what are the different business intelligence tools? The popular one is the spreadsheet. You have Microsoft Excel, Google Doc, a lot of reporting softwares, as we have Power BI, Tableau, and all of that, data visualization softwares. I mean, most times the reporting software and data visualization software overlaps, because the functions are similar. And even these days, with the functions and the operations that you can actually do on Power BI, it even takes place of what the spreadsheet would give you at times, because it's going away from the visualization and reporting aspect that you barely have, to having a robust application, just like you have in SaaS enterprise as well. We've we've covered majority of that. Different tools are applicable to our business intelligence operation. So what is the typical thing you find in a business intelligence tool? Be it Excel, Google spreadsheets, Power BI, Tableau, SaaS enterprise, Worker, different ones. What are the connecting or basic attributes you want from them? Is that the fact that they connect you to your source data, you could easily be able to load or transform your data into the platform, and you can be able to query and get relationship between different data sources, you can be able to visualize your data and create dashboard, not just the creating dashboard, creating stories and snapshots. You can be able to generate reports in tabular form, in graphical or visualization, like we like to call it, and you'll be able to do in-depth analysis and drill down, so to say, having your filters to be able to look at specific problem and create a snapshot out of a story to tell what's happening at different time, different cases in a particular reporting work. Then obviously direct access to data, based on the data connection competence of the tool. And also majority would obviously have your help, documentation, and application support. Tableau, for example, the biggest source of learning in Tableau, you find it on the website. The videos are very detailed, and Power BI, the community is so vast, and learning it is becoming ever so easy. I mean, that's not to make a light work of your endeavor, but it's just basically the fact that the community is vaster and it helps you to grow faster. What are the benefits of business intelligence tool? It helps you to create intuitive dashboard, data-driven business decisions, and you can be able to control and govern how your data is being used from ethical point of view as well. I mean, it's whatever you decide to integrate that you're able to analyze. It helps for faster analysis, and it helps you to get competitive advantage and improve customer experience because you are having tailored made reaction to whatever they are doing. My colleague Sebastian will go ahead and tell us our learning path towards building a very promising career in business intelligence. Over to you, Seb.
All right. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
And can you all see my screen?
My screen is still on. Do you want me to unshare, or you continue with this?
Okay, please, if you can share, that would be nice. So I will just continue with the flow, please. Okay, so good evening, everyone. So we're going to look at 6 practical steps in getting into business intelligence pathway or career path. So let me start by saying this, that in every career fair that you want to get into, there are top players in that field, and at the same time, there are people who are not measuring up in that field. So first of all, you need to stimulate your enthusiasm. You need to build that love, build that flame to understand or to go into the career path. And one of the things you need to do is to explore what BI tools can do as an individual, as a consumer, and as an analyst. So this is not trying, I mean, this is just more like doing some kind of a research into what that can do. And part of the ways you can also stimulate yourself is to explore different content of various BI services. Two things abound there. It's better you know that something exists and you then know how to go about using it, because you will be totally blank when you don't know that this particular service is available in this particular Power BI tool. Then the next one is to explore BI dashboards. This one is not, you're not going to build anything. Just try to explore different BI dashboards, how they work, the reporting tools that are that exist in it. And the next one, you need to look at the collaborative communities. My colleague Moshood said there are different platforms, BI platforms. You need to identify them, because when you get into, when you get some error message or you want to know how to do one or two things, you need that community to build yourself. And the good thing is that we have DSN community, very large community that can assist you. Then the next one you need to do is try to explore the earning, the salary of people who are into BI field. I mean, this will stimulate you. That's the only reason why you have to be awake all night, or you have to go the extra mile to do things the extra way and to make yourself extraordinary. Next slide, please. All right. So when you have done with that research, the next thing is to acquire the technical skills. Technical skills is very much important. I mean, I remember one of my mentors telling me that if you see someone who is not technically sound trying to explore, because the person is a good orator, that he will spot it. Because the first step that you have done, the research you are going to do will actually prepare you to even talk like an analyst or to talk like a professional. But what matters at that point is your technical understanding to it. So you need to grab you need to learn something technical. Based on what my colleague have said, you can look at how data manipulation, the tools, and start learning it gradually. Next one, please. All right, so I can't emphasize this enough. You need to build and develop data intellectual curiosity. This is very key because there are many people. So let me say this, every university in the world, or 90% of the university in the world, actually have one course or the other related to data business intelligence. But when you go out there, you see recruiters who will be clamoring, saying that there's shortage of skill sets in this area. Then you now ask yourself, what is currently going on? People are getting those courses, people are learning those courses, but they are not developing their data intellectual curiosity. Now, how do you go about it? Data literacy skill training. This does not mean a highly developed understanding of advanced statistics and data science. Data literacy is all about developing the ability to read, understand, and argue with the results of the analytic platforms or processes to uncover sites, both obvious and more hidden. You need to argue with the outcome that you've gotten. Because, I mean, when you give the obvious from a piece of data, you're not different from that guy who sits there with his laptop gathering those data or imputing those data on the system. Then the next thing you need to do is to communicate with and about the data. You need to ask questions about your data. Importantly, it isn't enough just to do the analysis, right? And maybe you describe it. You need to be able to interpret it to show why it matters by getting people to communicate with the data. It could be face-to-face, it could be true. I mean, that process will help you to understand it better. So focusing on the why of statistics means that you are exploring how the numbers helps us to understand the world and show misusing or omitting them actually can lead to problems. Then you need to don't forget or learn the human factor. You see, getting people to communicate about real data is also important because it can expose one to various data sets on the same issue and legitimately difference of interpretation. But we use data for so many reasons, and exploring it with the impact of data are for stakeholders, which is very crucial. So even individual, the way we select and interpret data can be influenced by our beliefs and the groups we belong. So whether we like it or not, data is increasing, entering all our lives. So we all need to benefit from remembering the social, the personal aspect of the data, from using it, from more being careful and understanding. So this is very important to have at the back of your mind when you are trying to develop intellectual curiosity, so that you will know that there is a human factor to interpreting it, depending on the environment where you get into. Next slide, please. So now the next one is, don't be jack of all trade, or if you want to be master all. You see, when you are jack of all trade, you know a bit of this, you know a bit of this, you know a bit of that. It won't create confidence. But when you know one tool, so pick one BI tool and start practical learning. Then when you get into an environment where that tool is not being used, oh, have you done this before? Yes, I've done this, but I did it with this tool. But if I can do it with this tool, transitioning to this tool will not be a problem. I don't know how many of us that were in the section of on Friday telling stories with data visualization. And I can remember one of the speakers saying something that you can easily transition from one tool to another, but you see yourself being a mediocre if you don't understand one tool. So try to know the in and out of the tool, the building blocks of the tool, explore all the possible features of that tool. And just remember that you need to know the 5 V's of big data, because data is geometrically increasing and you can't just be doing spreadsheet, or you need to transition it into EL, extract, transform, and load process. So you need to have ETL process. You need to understand the 5 V's, which is volume, value, variety, velocity, and veracity of data when you are learning the tool. Next slide, please. All right. I'm not going to talk about this because you can go and go to DSN platform to look at the meeting that was held last 2 days ago on data visualization. They actually said more of this. Concentrate and learn on visuals in the tools that you pick. And you need to bear in mind that the visuals are insights and they're not pictures, because you see beautiful dashboards, but when you look close to it, they're not driving, they're not giving any intelligence, sort of. And this is my popular quote: make information a portrait and explore it with your eyes. By so doing, you create an information cluster when you visualize it and can come handy when you're about to sync in the data. You need to think about it, then you think about matrices associated with it. The next one, please. Then the 6th step, which is develop genuine interest to solve problems. Ismail in the other in 2 days event hosted by DSN on how to tell stories with your data said that he started by looking for problems to solve on Facebook. He will even solve people's problem easily and they won't pay him until when someone from US paid him £500 for just building a dashboard that took him less than 20 minutes. So you need to develop genuine interest to solve problems. These are the 6 practical steps. I don't want to talk about mentorship because they are all there and DSN platform is there to provide that. I don't want to talk about other things, but if you follow these 6 steps, I can guarantee you, because it's a practical steps that I've taken and other colleagues of mine have actually taken in order to get into the BI world. Thank you.
And that brings us to the end of the presentation. Thank you very much for having us. Over to you, Fumini. Any question?
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sebastian and Moshood. We really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much for the insightful session and for the timing and for everything. I have learned a lot by, and thank you so much for all the references dropped too. We've noted that, and we're sure that the team is on it to make sure that we are able to, help people that need to get the mentorship and all those materials, getting to learn and everything. Can we celebrate our amazing mentors? They have really, really, really helped us today. Amazing. So I'll be handing over to my colleague now to take the question and answer section. We've already created some of the questions asked on the chat. So if you have any other question on the chat, you can drop them and my colleagues will pick them up. Thank you very much. So Teju, over to you.
Wow, thank you very much, Fumini. Thank you very much, our speakers. So we have a few questions here, and can you confirm if you can hear me?
Sure.
Okay, thank you very much. So, and then if you have any question, please, you can kindly drop it in the comment section, and then we can pick it from there. So we have a few questions here, and then I'll be reading in the order of importance. So the first is, how can someone be productive studying or being data analyst? How can you easily get a job and make a living from it? Okay, so I would like Sebastian to speak to that. Thank you very much.
All right, so obviously it shows that you have the skills and the soft skills for you to be a data analyst. Then how do you get the job? Well, one, you need to put yourself out there. For me, particularly, I remember when I was moving from local government to local government, submitting my CVs, telling them, oh, I have this skill set, I can do this, I can do that. Until one of the days, they just rang me and said, oh, we are doing this Bradford City walk. So can you come and analyze our data for us? And that was it. And that was how I started from there. So you need to put yourself out there. If I draw a strength from Ismail, when the owner of the YouTube page that he shared with us 2 days ago on this platform, he said something that he didn't work for anybody. He was doing things free for for people. So once you've gathered that skills, put yourself out there. There are many people that have data looking for how to translate it, bring out the intelligence out of it. Then we have different job sites, and with DSN mentorship, you can actually land that same job that you are looking for. And the good thing is that in this era
Thank you very much.
in good thing is that in this era, location is not a barrier. You can be at home and be working for someone in another country. So, thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much, Sebastian. Just get your skills and you can just go out there. Don't wait for the pay. Just develop yourself. So thank you very much. So I have another question here. Can you give a direct use case of business intelligence for the finance industry? Okay, Yaya, can you please help us with that question?
Sorry about that. I was actually talking. I didn't know I was on mute again. A direct use case of business intelligence for the financial industry. I'll give a typical example of one that I've worked on. It's the insurance industry, obviously, in the finance sector. And a typical example was once where we were having so much losses from a particular client. And the risk was becoming so enormous because as an insurance consultant and risk management consultant at the time, sorry, I'm not feeling too well, so hence my voice. So as an insurance consultant and risk management consultant, you don't just place risk and see the life of it till the end. You also manage the risk and see how it goes. So it got to a point we actually needed to make a decision. And what decision was that we had to analyze the data to see what are the causes of the accidents and all of that, because it was motor related. And we observed that in line with what we all know, 95% of the issue was coming from drivers. And we were able to drill it down. Again, it goes further to sudden stopping, sudden cornering, and all of that, because we had to collect rich level of data to be able to analyze it, and also discover that sometimes drivers lose concentration and it helps to affect this. So this in line helped the company to grow so much because we were able to avert a high level of challenges from the risk point of view, and our partners, the insurance companies, were so happy at the time as well.
Okay, so thank you very much, Yaya. This is another one. In business intelligence, how do I generate meaningful insights profitable to the business and stakeholders from the data available? Okay, Yaya can also speak to it.
So basically, we gave some steps on what you need to do, what a typical business intelligence endeavor entails, which is your data source. You load your data and then you perform your analysis, your dashboard, and all of that. But it doesn't just stop at the basic level, as it were. You will start from, Sebastian talked about something, which is you would have a very, very open mind to the problem you want to solve, number one. And yes, the tools are important, but what's more important is your own business knowledge and being able to have it down that draw out an hypothesis on your own. What are the problems I want to solve? How do I go about it? Without data, how do I think I will go about it? And then now bringing the data into it and now analyzing the data. So at that point, there's no horizon to your analysis. You have to go as deep as possible. It's more like somebody who's trying to save the life of you have to go as deep as possible to find it. It doesn't just stop on the surface. Oh, I think this is the problem. You keep drilling down. You will see, I'm specifically not talking about the tool, because once you know a particular tool, you can always adapt around different tools, but it's about your problem-solving attitude and always looking out for what exactly would help your stakeholder and the business. And that's why I started by talking about what is the reason people go into business and what are the needs of the stakeholder. So basically, it's about having that hypothesis drawn on your own. I have a friend who all he does is he writes everything he wants to solve on the sheet of paper first and try to play devil's advocate, be like a fool when you're solving it. Go as deep down as possible. Try to be very exploratory. There's no boundary to what you can find out in a set of data.
Okay, thank you very much, Yaya. So we are going to be stopping the question session here, and then other questions can be asked as you join the DSN Telegram group, the mentorship group. So thank you very much, speakers, for this session. And so I would like to hand over to Funmi. Funmi, thank you.
Wow, thank you so much for this wonderful session, Sebastian. And can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Moshood and Sebastian, for this amazing session. It's really been a very wonderful exciting one for me. I'm really happy for this lesson that you have given to us. Like I can see a lot of things that I too personally catch up with, and it's really amazing to have both of you on the call today. So I would like everyone on the call to celebrate our two mentors for this amazing session by using any emoji of your choice. So let's celebrate them. Let's celebrate them. They have actually given us a lot of good content about business intelligence and a lot of information to get us starting, to get us working well, and to make us work well effectively within just a short period of 1 hour. We've learned a lot of useful things. And also they've given us a lot of recommendations like learning never stop. We need to seek knowledge every day and be consistent with what we need to learn. So we need to have a clear goal and then pursue the goal. So we need to continue learning. And in light of that, so I would like to still share with us that now that at Data Scientist Network, we are already started, and also we are going to be starting our new cohorts of AI everyday by next week, Monday. I hope somebody is being excited on the group. Kindly share any emoji we're trying to celebrate new 4 contents that we are new 4 courses that are going to be launching next week, Monday, and the learning is going to start from Monday to Thursday. So on Monday, we are going to be predicting student performance using BigML. So BigML is a tool that we are going to be learning on Monday. And also on Tuesday, we are going to be learning Python for data analysis. While on Wednesday, we are going to be learning building insurance analytical dashboard using Power BI. So I'm very sure that a lot of people already are excited on the call. So my colleagues already dropping the link to join any of the cohort classes that you like to participate in. So kindly use the link to register on time so that you can join the class. And also on Thursday, we are going to be learning do spatial analysis for business using QGIS. So you can all see that what our mentors have said today is that you need to master some tools to help you bring insights from data and also to be able to create a solution to a lot of problems that people are encountering. So if you are in if you are in category of maybe teachers or you are taking the classes and you like to predict your student performance, so BigML is your big day on Monday. So I'll be looking forward to seeing you on BigML class on Monday. And also if you are aspiring data analyst and you want to know how to use Python hand-to-hand to create solutions to solve real-world problem, join us on Tuesday. Then Python for data analysis is your big bet for you on Tuesday. And why not join us again on Wednesday to learn how to build analytical dashboard using Power BI. So we are going to learn it. One of the case studies we are going to be treating is insurance analytics, and I'm very sure that you are going to learn a lot from there. So geospatial analysis is just for people who want to look into geospatial analysis using QGIS. So I'm very sure it's going to be an exciting time for all of us on the call if we all make sure that we join the session on that very day. So the link has been shared. Kindly ensure that you join. I would like to appreciate everyone on the call for staying to this time, for joining us for today's mentorship program. And to all our community members, we appreciate you for your time. We appreciate you for your support in all our events, in all our activities. We really appreciate your contribution to all the growth that DSN have received in the last couple of days. It's really amazing to have you all as our backbone. And also, I would like to implore you that you do stop learning. We have a lot of opportunity in our platform. Mentorship is there. The weekly learning is there, and also we have a lot of research activity that is going on. You can contribute to any of our research platform that we are working on. You can join any of our master classes on research so that you can build your research capacity as well. So we are joining my colleague will be dropping our website with you there so that you can explore our website to see a lot of exciting activities that we already have in place for you. And also you can join any of our group. We have Telegram group, WhatsApp group, so that you don't miss out on any of the exciting things that we are bringing to the table. So that this year, by the time you count all the opportunity you have explored and be able to execute at the end of this year, you are all going to be proud of what you have done to yourself. So thank you so much for joining this call today. Thank you so much once again, Mashood, Sebastian, and all my colleagues who have been anchoring the session since morning. It's really, really exciting and really a pleasure to have you all here today. So I would like to say thank you so much for everything you guys have done today. It's really impressive. I would like to wish you all a very great day ahead today and happy weekend once again. Thank you for joining the call.
Adaptive learning personalizes the learning experience as each learner can learn at his or her pace. It is an integral part of student-centered learning where learning focuses on the distinct learning needs, interests, aspirations, or cultural backgrounds of each student. With or without the internet, adaptive learning powered by artificial intelligence makes it possible for learning to be customized per student based on their preferred learning style, competence, path, and context. With our robust adaptive learning engine delivered via SMS, learning can be personalized for students who neither have access to the internet or own a smartphone. Our AI platform studies and detects the learning patterns of each child based on real-time quizzes, revisions, and intervention response.